Hi all, welcome back to the quarterfinal of the Chessable Masters, and today I have a game between Artemiev and Nepomniachtchi. Artemiev had a bad day when they first played 2 days ago, when a disconnect by Artemiev resulted in a win for Nepo, and also a blunder giving away the exchange, or maybe it was a mouseslip, giving Nepo a second win to win that round 2.5 against a half a point. So Artemiev really needs to win this set today to stay in the game. So let's get it started. We have Artemiev opening with b3. We have the Nimzo Larsen attack. e5 by Nepo, bishop b2, and bishop knight to c6. Already very exciting. We have e3 by Vlad, knight to f6, and bishop to b5. We have bishop to d6. It is not uncommon. Maybe it looks a bit peculiar because why wouldn't you play something like d6, which is also perfectly fine. But Nepomniachtchi decided on the bishop to d6. Um, in case you're wondering, the threat is of course if you take this pawn is hanging. So he defends it by the bishop, and now he can quickly castle as well if he wants to. So we have knight to a3 now. Also, this looks maybe a bit peculiar, but this is also perfectly theory. White really wants to utilize this diagonal, and the knight here would just be in the way. And from a3, it can go to c4, attacking both bishop and the pawn. So we have knight to a5 by Nepo, and now bishop retreats to e2. We have a6 now, and c4. We have c5 now, and knight back to c2. The knight after the knight black's knight went to a5, the c4 square wasn't really an option anymore. So white has a change in plan and tries to maneuver his knight to a more useful square. Probably just he's now aiming looking at d4. Probably next move d4 is coming. Knight to c6 and now d4. We have takes and takes and takes and takes. So a whole capture fest. Bishop to b4 with check, which is actually the risk of going d4 now because you cannot defend it. So you have to move your king to f1 here, and only now you take and takes. And white is has a decent position, and black still needs to develop here. White needs to develop too and needs to get his king castling, maybe something like g3, king here, maybe here, something like this. And white has a beautiful diagonal here and a nice pawn structure. So it is a small sacrifice to put your king here, given that you have actually a good position to attack from. So black just castles. Now we have bishop to f3. Um, yeah, so not knight to f3, which would have been fine as well, but he played bishop to f3. Maybe he wants to play g3 and fianchetto this bishop later after his king moves here. Who knows? We have d5 now. Black needs to develop. Yes, he is behind in development, and the king is now in a bad position. So you do want to make use of this now before the king gets comfortable on g2. The knight gets out and white finishes developing. You need to make something happen. Um, so you need to seize the moment, and yeah, if it comes by the cost of a pawn, then it will cost a pawn. Yeah, so d5 by Nepo, and bishop takes d5. Seemingly, he gave just the pawn away, but as I mentioned, you do want to attack now. The king is vulnerable. So we have queen to c7 and knight to e2. Rook to e8 now, and bishop to back to f3, defending the knight. Maybe now he has ideas of g3, king here, get his rook into the game. We have bishop to f5 and queen to f4 now. White would like to trade off of queens here, make the position a bit simpler, so to say. So we have queen to d7, and bishop takes an f6, takes f6, and now knight to g3. And even though it doesn't look like much, this was actually a blunder by Artemiev, unfortunately. And the next move by Nepomniachtchi is an absolute screamer, an amazing move. It's, it's a great sight to behold, and try to find Nepo's next move if you give you a couple of seconds. So Nepo played bishop to b1, and it is just a brilliant move, an absolute screamer. Um, the rook was defending the e1 square, so with putting the bishop here, he prevents the defense of this square. So the threat now is simple: rook to e1 checkmate. So obvious question is, what happens if you takes? Well, if you take, you have queen to d3, king to g1, takes on b1, and white is getting mated after some just throwing some pieces in there, like this on e1. So um, so you cannot take it. So how do you defend against this? Can you maybe block this file? Maybe play something like bishop e2. Well, if you play bishop e2, black has a mate in 2 actually with queen to d1 check, and it's just such an amazing position. And then obviously you have to take, and then rook to e1 will be checkmate. So also this is not an option. So what to do here? Well, in the game, Artemiev played king to g1, um, and but there is another option of queen to c1. Not that it's any good because you will have to give away the queen, but at least for now you're not getting checkmated. So, but in the game it was after bishop to b1, it was king to g1, and now just rook to e1 check, knight to f1, and queen to d3. Now this rook is out of the game. We have an incoming checkmate here. So the question is, how can you defend against this? So Artemiev played queen to g4 with check, with king to h8, so no more checks are available, and now bishop to e2, the only way to defend the knight. We have the rook takes on e2, and rook takes on b1 now, saying, okay, if you take my rook, I'll take yours. Um, but Nepomniachtchi didn't take the rook, and he played bishop to c5, now threatening bishop takes f2 with checkmate. You either have to defend, and the only piece which can defend this is the queen, which just means you will sacrifice your queen, or you try to escape, and that's the thing Artemiev tried. So he played h4, and now we have rook takes f2. Um, we have rook to e1, and now rook to f4 with check. If you play something like, if you want to try to protect your queen, and you play something, you want to get out of this discovery and play maybe here, king to h2, you get rook to g8, and well, whatever you do, the next move is this. Yeah, so if you try to well, I don't. There's no move here. There's just no move. If you try something like this, yeah, you'll get a check here. You go here, and then well, you'll just have to sacrifice the queen. If you want to get out of the way, and maybe play something like this, you'll just get checkmated. So it's a disastrous position anyway. Um, so Artemiev played rook to e1, which it's not helping much, but the position is already lost. With rook to f4 with check now, and in this position it was Artemiev who resigned the game. It is incredible. It is incredible how quickly an opponent set up his attack against the weak position of the king, and yeah, an absolute crushing attack. It's a short game, yes, but it's very entertaining. So I hope you like the game. With this loss, it is Nepo also who won the second set of their matchup. So Nepomniachtchi made it to the semi-finals. Yeah, so if you did enjoy the game, please do give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and I hope to see you again in next video.